Yay. Okay. So we're live and I'm going to host a webinar, a free live webinar starting 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So bear with me until we start because we also have people joining on Zoom. So it's gonna be amazing because what we will talk about is how to be a good leader. So basically, how to keep that dream alive and be the dream leader that you always wanted to be and have the dream team that you always wanted to have. And basically, be happy with the work that you do instead of just being happy only during the weekends or the holidays. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about self-care. We're going to talk about how you can manage yourself, the importance of adaptability, emotional intelligence. We're going to talk about some sought after skills, especially in today's world. We're going to talk about what you can do so you resource your team properly and look at different types of working, different styles, different personality, maybe assessments, the stuff that you can use. And I do have a surprise for everybody right at the end of the webinar. So stay with me because you'll like it, especially if you are managing a team. If you are a team leader, a team manager, if you have your own business and you have a small team that you're trying to lead right now, this webinar is for you because you're going to have a look at what you can do to manage yourself better and also some ideas of how you can work better with your team and how you can manage them better. So stay with me because that's what we are going to do. All right, so what I will do is I will start sharing my screen so that you hopefully can all see it. Because hey, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to share, we're here to discuss, we're here to learn. So definitely that's what's gonna happen today. So we're gonna go live at 1:30 p.m. Definitely, if you're watching this live just on YouTube, you can definitely ask your questions in the comments or make your suggestions, make your comments, share some of the challenges that you're dealing with, because that's why we're doing this, right? We're looking for solutions. We're looking for solutions, even if really, I don't think anyone can say right now that they have a clear recipe for how to successfully work, how to successfully manage your team, especially with all of the changes that are going on. There's no one that can say, hey, this is how the future of work will look. This is what's going to happen, and this is what we need to focus on. So the best thing is to look at what we have control over. What is it that we can control in our lives so that we actually prepare ourselves for whatever comes up next, and prepare others as well, help other people. Okay, it's 1:30, so off we go. We're going live. So people, please comment and ask your questions. I think I have the comments on, so hold on. Yeah, you have the live chat on. So yeah, feel free. I'll just stay there. Feel free to post your questions. I can't go live on my, I can't do this on my laptop because I have the presentation in slideshow mode. So, okay, questions and comments here. Okay, cool. So off we go. Great. So before we start, I wanted to introduce myself. So I'm Roxana Radulescu, Chief Game Changer and founder of All Personal. All Personal is a training, coaching, and consulting company. It's the first Canadian game-changing index partner. So I'll let you know more about that towards the end, where I'm talking about the surprise. Don't go, I have a super surprise for you. Chart learning solution partner, and emotional intelligence course designer. This is an e-learning platform. It's an award-winning e-learning platform. So that's why I wanted to partner with them to be able to offer more valuable content to everyone out there, and especially people who need to manage other people. Online course designer and facilitator. My background, by the way, is over 15 years in corporate learning and development in top legal consulting firms and teams. So I'm passionate about learning. I believe learning is movement from moment to moment. This is my mantra, by the way. So, and certified learning and development HR practitioner and master coach. I'm also honored to be a TEDx speaker, and I do have a podcast that I host. It's called All Personal, and I'm also a contributing author to magazines and publications and platforms that talk about the future of work and especially teamwork. Okay, but what we're here to talk about today is not me. It's this: top current issues, top skills that bring you back in the driver's seat, the importance of self-care for high performance and self-care techniques, how to build, engage, and motivate your team for the long run, and stay tuned for the surprise, as I mentioned. So here we go. Let's have a look at the top current issues. I work with a lot of people who manage teams. They either have their own business and they have a small team, or they manage teams within larger organizations. Some questions from them in 2020 are these: how do we build our team for the long run while the world around us changes by the minute? No surprise there. This is a big one, right? You want to think long term, but here's what's going on. Short term, you can plan. How do we support, motivate, and help each other grow so that the business grows, especially in the current conditions? How do we stay motivated? And we're going to have a look at that. How can we scale our team and bring the right people who are aligned with the culture, values, goals, and existing team, so that we grow the business through uncertainty? This was super important before the crisis. With the crisis, it's crucial because we all know the costs of a bad hire. We all know the costs of somebody who's good for the team leaving. And I'm not talking about just financial costs. I'm talking about psychological costs as well. Because what that does, somebody good leaving, what that does for the morale of the team who stays, especially now, that's huge. How do we feel less anxiety and stress and more in control and productive? How do we not feel overwhelmed? How can we plan better? How can we keep going? How do we bring in more diversity and creativity to build innovative solutions for customers and grow the business? Because guess what? The reality around us changed, but we still have to take care of the clients, of the customers. We have to come up with different kinds of solutions that are adapted to this reality right now. So these are the issues These are the questions that I got. My question also on top of all of that is, who's taking care of you and how? Who? Because if you're a manager, here's the thing. If you're a manager, if you're leading people, wherever you are, right? In your own business, in a bigger organization, you have 1, 2, 10, 15, 50 people that you are managing. Who is taking care of you? Because you take care of them. You take care of your direct manager or supervisor, or whoever they are. You take care of your family, maybe. You take care of your partner as well. You take care of everybody. So where does that leave you? Who takes care of you? Because you can't go to them. You can't go to your team partners, family, to your boss, to your manager. You can't go all the time and share the challenges and the frustrations and everything that you're scared of, everything that you don't know how to manage. You can't go to them because they have their own challenges and frustrations. Plus, sometimes it doesn't look good on you, right? What does that do to your career development, to where that takes you next? So who takes care of you? And we're gonna answer this question by the end of this webinar. And also stay with me because that's the surprise that I have for you. It's strictly related to that. Because you don't have to feel isolated. You don't have to feel lost. You don't have to be the frozen middle. You don't have to. There's a way out. You don't have to be overwhelmed. So let's have a look at what you can do to get you back in the driver's seat. And so you feel that you take control of your emotions, actions, and results. Now, this is for 2020, 2021 and beyond. I'd say this is for 2020 anyway, but a lot of people were not prepared. And these are the top skills to train for. So, and whenever you see a title like this, top 5 skills in high demand, just know that that is a myth. Yeah. Do not believe anyone who tells you, oh, here are the 5 skills. You just learn these and you're good to go. And here's why. So I can show you what the skills are, right? Adaptability, people management, change management, time and project management, business mindset. Anyone surprised? Like, really, are there any surprises here? I don't think so. I mean, of course, adaptability is number 1. Of course, people management, because now more than ever, we need to know how to manage the team and how to manage ourselves as well, because that's included in the people management stuff. You can't manage yourself, you have no idea how to manage other people. So I don't think you're surprised by that, but let me show you something. So here's what we have under adaptability: emotional intelligence, self-care, creativity. So these are 3 more skills that we need to master. And I can tell you now, but in emotional intelligence, you already have a whole lot more, because I have a whole course about that. So trust me on that. So here we go. Under people management, you have communication, teamwork, and collaboration. Again, no surprises there. But the reason I'm telling you that, just looking for the top 5, top 10, whatever that is, it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of work behind that. And here's how. So I have this bundle of courses that I created. It's called Critical Skills for Game-Changing Leaders. They address all of these skills and more than that. But if you look at this, what you have are 8 modules, and each of these have their own components, and I'm going to show you in a minute. So there's 8 modules addressing these 5 skills that under themselves have so many other skills. Emotional intelligence, coaching and mentoring, expertise or employee retention, career development for you and for your team, responsible initiative, change management, time management, and project management. And here is what I'm saying when I say that all of these modules have so many courses underneath, because they need to address different things. So whenever somebody tells you, you just learn these 5 skills and you're good to go, actually what that means is a whole lot underneath the surface. And it's a process. And I think we need to recalibrate our expectations of what's possible when we talk about any kind of development. Personal, professional development especially takes time. Nothing, no success is created overnight. Nothing that's important, meaningful, powerful is created overnight. Nothing. And look at this. How long do you think it takes for you to just go through them and then understand how to apply them on your work, in your organization, in your team, in your role, and then master them? Because we're talking about this journey from learning about new possibilities, understanding what's possible, and then all the way through mastering those skills. So when you master these, that means you've had the practice, you've had the feedback, you've had people that you brainstormed with you had the support, you had discussions, you had coaching, you had Q&As, you've tried, you adapted, and you made it work for you. And now it's embedded in everything that you do, in your way of working. That's when you know you're mastering these. And that's a journey from initiation all the way to mastery. So I'm not saying this to scare you off. I'm saying this because you need to know what it takes. I don't want to say something, oh, you just do that stuff. And by the way, buy these courses from me and then you're good to go. Yeah, that's a good start, but that's just the beginning of the learning journey. And I want to tell you where to start talking about where do we start. We start with emotional intelligence. And I'm going to leave this for a minute because it has to sink in. I love this quote from the director of innovation at Microsoft. Emotional intelligence is the difference that makes the difference. A lack of emotional intelligence is what limits some people in their ability to manage themselves, manage others, or manage situations. This is emotional intelligence in a nutshell. And it completely connects it with why emotional intelligence is important for your career. And not just your career, because you can definitely, this is the #1 transferable skill. You're taking it with you everywhere you go. You can apply everything that's related to emotional intelligence in your life first. You're capable of applying it in your life, you'll be capable of applying it in your work as well. Because by the way, work is part of your life. We're not dead at work. We're still us. We're still very much alive. It's just a part of our life. So, and everything that we come with at work, our values, our beliefs, our motivations, our experiences, our thoughts, everything that's in here, we take it with us at work as well. So this is what makes emotional intelligence the #1 thing. That's where you start. If you want to be a dream boss, you want to be a dream leader, you want to have a dream team, a dream life, a dream business, a dream work, that's where you start. And here is more. If you're not convinced yet, here's why. There's this study done by the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, CIPD, in the UK. They did this study before the pandemic. Here's what it says. Nearly as much as 80% of the reasons why careers are derailed can be traced to weaknesses in emotional intelligence. 80%. That is huge. Not 18, 80. And I will give you the 3 primary causes of career failure. Poor interpersonal skills, people not being good team players, difficulties in handling change. So you see how it connects with what we were talking before about adaptability and people management. The 3 primary causes of career failure. And again, I'm not trying to discourage you. So here are the 3 predictors of career success: dealing with a diverse range of issues, managing emotions, and managing social skills. How is that for adaptability, emotional intelligence, self-care, people management? Again, people management also means self-management. It starts from there. There's no question about it. So let's have a look at what comes next and why I say that it all starts with ourselves. And I address this extensively in my emotional intelligence course. By the way, I'm gonna leave a link to the emotional intelligence course in the comments below for those of you who really want to take this step forward. And why I say it all starts with ourselves is because it starts with self-awareness. That's where you look. That's where you start noticing what works for you, what doesn't work for you, how you react in different kinds of situations, and what would you like to keep from, what are some reactions that you'd like to keep, what are some reactions that you'd like to change, where you act on impulse, where you actually sit back and look and see, oh, okay, let me think about it and get back to it later, because right now I don't know how to deal with that. What works for you versus what doesn't, and adjusting. It's trial and error, people. That's what it's all about. That's how we learn. Learning is a continuous process of trying things out, maybe getting things wrong, recalibrating, trying to get them right and make them work. That's it. That's what learning is, trial and error. It's not that we fail. Now, for me, failure, and I want to hear your thoughts about this. If you're watching and maybe if you have a thought on it, you can comment. Failure is when we try and then we give up because it didn't work. That's failure. Learning is trial and error. Think about how we learn how to walk when we're kids, right? We get up, we fall, we get up, we fall, we get up again, and eventually we stay up. We learn how to stay up. But we learn how to stay up because we keep trying and we keep changing things and we keep changing our balance so that we can stay up and not fall again. If we don't get up anymore because it didn't work the few first times, that's when we fail because we don't learn it. So that's why it starts with ourselves. It then goes to self-management. Now, I understand my reactions. I understand how I behave in different situations, and I want to see how I can manage them. If things get me angry, if I'm angry in traffic, then maybe that's one thing that I might want to change. So how do I manage that? How do I make the switch between getting angry to managing that anger, to managing my emotions and working with my emotions to benefit me rather than prevent me from doing something good? That is important. That's where it all starts. And that's why it's so important, because the minute I'm self-aware, that's when I can manage my emotions and my actions as a result of that. And that is when I am socially aware. Because when I'm self-aware, That's when I understand how other people react to maybe similar situations that I'm in, and also what I like about it, how I can manage that. That's what I can do once I become self-aware. I notice their emotions. I notice what they like, they don't like, things that work for them, things that don't. I ask them questions. I develop empathy. I get to listen to them so that I understand what they're saying and do something with it and work through the situation together. That's only possible the minute that I'm self-aware. I cannot be self-aware of how other people think and feel unless I'm aware of how I think and feel in different kinds of situations. And that's when we talk about real diversity and inclusion, because I'm aware of how different they are from me and how that's good and how much value that brings over in my team and in my business and in my organization. That's huge. And see, it all starts with self-awareness. It's that simple, and at the same time it's that complicated, because it's not complicated, it's complex, because we're complex as human beings. We're complex. And then with social awareness, I get to do relationship management the way it should be done, like all of it, and be able to develop myself further, develop my career, develop my business, develop my life the way I want to live, and then develop others in turn. Like the definition of a great leader is that they create other leaders in turn. So that comes with the package. And of course, the minute I'm socially aware and I understand how others feel and react and think, that's when I can manage my relationships with them. And also, the moment I can manage myself, that's also how I can manage my relationships with them. So you see how it's all connected. Again, if you want to learn more, we don't have time to dive deeper into this, but again, if you want to learn more about it, I'll just post my link, the link to the emotional intelligence course in the comments after this live. So you might want to take a look at that. All right. And because we said, yes, it all starts with ourselves. By the way, it starts with taking care of ourselves. Remember the question that I had at the beginning, who takes care of you and how? And that's a crucial question, especially now. And first of all, it should be you. The first person that takes care of you should be you. And then you look at options. You look at what kind of help you need, what kind of support you need, who can you ask for help, what support systems are there in place for you to support you in your journey, in your development journey, right? In your becoming journey, because life is all about becoming the next version of ourselves. So let's have a look at the importance of self-care and some strategies for self-care for you, because that's important. And let's see why that's important. Because, hey, no surprise there. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. And by the way, this is me in 2013. It was the Bucharest half marathon. And I had been running half marathons, a few half marathons until then. I don't run them anymore because my knees got bad, but hey, that's one other lesson that I learned. But as I started running, and actually, if you want to see my journey of discovering running, I had a TEDx talk. My TEDx talk was about how I discovered that our skills muscles are similar to our body muscles. So I invite you to look it up. I'll actually leave a link to it here as well, but it's on the YouTube channel too. So another lesson I learned is that we need to think of ourselves as high-performing athletes. And that, especially now, is crucial, people. And listen to me, because This is going to be super important, and it's going to revolutionize the way you work and your productivity and high performance. They're going to go through the roof the minute that you start thinking of yourself and also your team as a high performing athlete. Because here's the high performance cycle: preparation. And now we think about, let's do an imagination exercise. Think about a high performing athlete who goes to the Olympics, right? So the Olympics are every 4 years, unless there's a pandemic that postpones them, unfortunately. So, but hear me out. So every 4 years. Now, as a high performing athlete, I'm not going to start preparing for the Olympics the day before, the week before, or the month before, for that matter, right? What high performing athletes do is they prepare continuously. So they have the Olympics every 4 years. They prepare for 4 years between the Olympics. That's preparation, right? That's real preparation. So it's not like, oh, okay, I need to run the marathon in the Olympics. I'm going to start preparing a month before. No, that is something that I do every day. Then it's the performance part. So during the 2 weeks of the Olympics, they perform at high levels, right? So that's what they need the preparation for, to be able to perform. And then after the Olympics, they need the recovery. They need to be able to recover so that they can perform again. Now, we need to go back to the performance bit, because here's the thing. During the Olympics, during the 2 weeks of the Olympics, what happens is I need to perform maybe several days, not just one day. And maybe today is not the best day for me. So my performance is not the one that I trained for, I prepared for. But I do have another race in 2 days' time, or in 4 days' time, or next week. What I need to do is be able to prepare and recover before my next day when I need to perform at high levels. So I need to have habits in place. I need to have routines in place that help me prepare and recover. I need to know the hows, because we all know, yeah, okay, I need to prepare. Okay, but how? Do you know how? Because high performing athletes, they have the whole team around them that helps them prepare and recover. They have physicians, they have their coaches, they have trainers, they have nutritionists, they have a whole team that takes care of them. Also, the athlete themselves, they're the ones who take care of themselves too, because they know there's no other way in which they can perform unless they are in tip-top shape. Right? So that's one thing. Another thing is they do not participate in the Olympics 100% of the time. That's 2 weeks every 4 years. So that's a good point to remember for later, because I'm going to mention that again. We cannot be 100% of our time. We cannot be on. The whole high performance cycle then includes all of these three. It's not just the performance itself. It's called high performance, but actually it includes all three of these: preparation, performance, recovery, constantly. And it's on 3 levels: emotional, physical, mental, right? Because I might be in tip-top physical shape, but if emotionally I'm in a bad state, if mentally I'm thinking about something else, I'm not gonna be as productive as I need to be for high performance. So I'm giving you 7 laws of self-care for high performance. Maybe there are more. These are the 7 that I came up with. You can add to them. Make your own laws. Here they are. Again, you don't participate in the Olympics 100% of the time. You cannot be on 100% of the time. You cannot ask your team, the work team or the home team, by the way, you cannot ask them to be on 100% of the time. You need to take care of yourself before you can also take care of your team. It's like the oxygen mask on the plane. Put your own oxygen mask first, then you can take care of the others. The way in which you deal with yourself is going to have a direct impact on how you deal with others. That's why it starts with self-care and self-management. Because when you're able to manage your emotions and actions and reactions, that's when you're able to understand other people's emotions and actions and reactions and manage them. Structured, consistent work on yourself, like a high-performing athlete, means that you can understand how you can help your team and your business or organization long-term, right? All of the analogies that you can draw from constantly working on yourself, constantly improving, constantly taking care of yourself, that's transferable to all of the environments that you operate in. All of the environments that you operate in. Long-term high performance includes preparation and recovery. Do not ever forget that. And it's a cycle, and it's an everyday cycle. And we're going to talk about that. Preparation needs to be done to prevent bad things from happening. So leaders and organizations that don't prepare now will experience the downside of this work from home and new work and new normal shortly, because they will see the downfalls, and mental health is one of them. So that's where we need to start with self-care so we can care for others as well. Because people challenges are business challenges. Don't forget that. As a team manager, whatever and wherever your team is, and whatever big your or small your team is, you need to know that. Because when everyone runs out of health and time, who is there left to do the work and to grow the business and to run the business, right? We need people. People are the business. They need to be able to perform so that the business performs as a whole. And that's where the power of habit comes in. And I wanted to start with this. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Talking about routines. Again, imagine yourself and your team as this team of high-performing athletes. And then we can talk about self-care strategies, which are really daily routines. And think about your routines. What do you do daily that helps you? And not just during the good times. I'm not talking about, okay, when I'm happy and when I have time, that's a whole other thing, because time really is our perception about time. When we talk about time management, we talk about self-management, we talk about perceptions, we talk about expectations, a whole lot of other stuff. We don't really manage time. What we manage is our ability to focus. So that's a whole other discussion. But what do you do to get yourself up again when you fall, when you have a low energy day, when you're that high performing athlete who had a bad day, who didn't win the race? And more so, not that they didn't win it, they came out last. But they do have another race tomorrow. What do? How do they get themselves back up so they can win the race tomorrow. So this is what the daily routines are in there for. And I'm going to give you some ideas of daily routines that you can have if you don't have them already, because they should be in the morning, at noon, and in the evening. Something that helps you change perspectives, get more energy, get more focus, communicate when you don't really feel like it. All of the good stuff that you're getting from a support system, because that is what daily routines turn out being for the long run. It's your support system. It's something that is under your control. This is what you can absolutely control. No pandemic, no external element will be able to take this away from you. Only you are able to take this away from you. And here's why. So some ideas: morning routines, meditation, reading or listening to something inspiring, journaling or recording your thoughts and emotions, exercise. It can be anything: yoga, running, workouts, walking, biking, anything, but do it at least 5 days a week. And power poses. Now, I'm not going to dive deep into that, but hey, power poses are important. Why? Because when we feel low, now imagine yourself again. We're going to do another imagination exercise. You can close your eyes for this if you want. If not, don't worry, you don't have to. Imagine yourself in a state of sadness or disappointment. What is your posture then? Or you can even look at what your posture is now. Observe, notice. How do you stand? How do you sit? Are you hunched like that? Are you like that? What is it? And how do you feel in that posture? Now, what happens is when you feel sad or disappointed or frustrated, typically, but especially sad, let's talk about sadness. And then we're gonna break it up a bit. When we're sad, we look down and we just drag ourselves at super low energy when we're sad. Our posture is the one where we don't even want to be there. We're trying to run and hide. We don't want to be visible. And it's like, I'm not feeling like doing anything. So what a power pose does in that situation, and imagine you're sad and then you have a meeting with your team or with your clients or with your boss, and it's an important meeting. You cannot show up like that. So what you can do is do a power pose, superhero pose, or better yet, winning, the winning pose, right? And look at what just happened. We went from this posture looking down to this one looking up. Literally, that's a change in perspective, just from looking down to looking up. I see something different. The level of energy of this posture, and you can, if I can do it live on YouTube, then you can do it at home behind the screen. Don't worry, nobody sees you, but you can try it out. This gives you a different level of energy. Not to mention this, it's like, this is joy. This is happy. This and happy and joy come with a lot of energy and with a different kind of energy. So, and by the way, if you haven't watched Amy Cuddy's TED Talk on how our body shapes our mind or something similar. But anyway, her name is Amy Cuddy. I'm going to put the link in the comments below, in the description, actually. So I will put the link to my emotional intelligence course, the link to my TEDx talk, and the link to Amy Cuddy's TED Talk about the power of our body posture over our mind. Okay, so let's move on to day or noon daily routines. Just taking 5 and appreciating yourself, or do another power pose. Just if you need a change of energy and perspective, power poses are good. Or just jump up or just move a little bit, shake that old energy off and get some new energy in. Go out for a walk, and it changes perspectives and energy as well. But taking 5 and appreciating yourself, that's huge as well, because how many times do you do that, by the way? We do take time to say, I'm having a bad day, I'm not very productive, what am I doing? I haven't finished everything. Are you taking time to just let yourself know how productive you've been today? How many things you've accomplished off your list of tasks? If you don't, try it. And breathing exercises. And yes, that's another link that I will put in the comment in the description of this video, because I know you will enjoy them. They're on my website and I recorded them a while ago, so you won't see blue hair. But breathing exercises, they help with because they relax you. They also give you a different kind of energy. And they also help you with speaking. And for those of you who need to do presentations or speak with a lot of people every day, those are going to be super, super, super useful. I promise you. Okay. And in the evening, you can look at 5 things that were great that day. You can journal, recall, or record them. It's good for you to, again, it's like taking 5 and appreciating yourself. It's just that you're doing a recap of everything that was great that day, because that puts you in a different kind of mindset and it relaxes you. Listen to a meditation or read something. Whatever you do, though, get off your device, whatever your device is, 1 hour before bed. One, because the blue light is bad for us, because it doesn't let us get into that state of relaxation. And second, because whenever we scroll down like that on social media, we're getting a lot of dopamine and adrenaline. And that is the opposite of what we need to be able to relax and get into that sleep mode. So, and we need to have good sleep quality. That's what we're talking about, because we all know when we're tired, we cannot perform at high levels. Think about it. You don't hear about high performing athletes who go to bed at midnight the day before they have the race, or who have the habit of going to bed at midnight. They don't, because they know that they need to have their body needs to be accustomed to a certain rhythm and pace so that it can perform. It's the same thing for you. Do not underestimate the power of this case because it can take you places, right? This is what we have. Our bodies are our means of showing up every day to other people. So we need to take care of what we have on the inside and on the outside. So my call to action on this is choose your morning, day, and evening routine. See what works for you. Schedule them in your calendar. That is super important. Why? You need to see them and you need to plan them around your other schedule, because this is business as well. They're your business and they're important because they will have an impact on everything that you do. So treat them as important and block the time as busy, depending on what's possible for you that day. You have time early in the morning, you do it in the morning. You have time later in the morning, you do that later in the morning. It doesn't have to be the same time every day if that's not possible. You need to plan for what's possible. Also, they don't have to last for hours. Your routines don't have to last a full hour. It can be 10 minutes in the morning or 15, or if you have more minutes tomorrow, do 30 minutes tomorrow. But know what works and what doesn't work for you. That is going to be super important. And then start with a 30-day practice. Monitor what works and what needs to be changed. Again, going back to trial and error. This is how we learn. And then embed the changes and schedule the next 30 days. And here's why. We need to allocate 90 days for this, because it might take just 21 days to form a new habit. But look at what happens with integrating change and habits. The first 30 days are going to be hard. The next 30 days are going to be messy. And only the next 30 days are going to be beautiful. Because at the beginning, maybe we don't like doing that, or we don't really see results. And that's another thing. Calibrate your expectations, give it time, because again, any kind of development that's meaningful, that's important, that's powerful, it takes time. You cannot expect to see huge results in a few days. It's like going to the gym. I don't expect I go once or twice a year and then, okay, I'm fit, very well, thank you very much. You're not going to see me here again. No, it does not work like that. I have to go there regularly for a longer period of time, for years and years maybe, so that I start being fit and then I maintain that state, right? Because the minute I stop, maybe I'm not fit anymore. So give it time, see what works, and then see how you can embed it in your life. So I'm gonna share these links in the description as well. So don't worry, you're getting these exercises, a lot of self-management, a lot of breathing, my emotional intelligence course, don't worry about it. You're gonna get all of these links. And now we saw self-care is important, self-awareness is important, self-management, because that's how I get to understand other people, how they work, how they react, how they feel, how they think. And then I can start talking about engaging and motivating them. That is the power of team leadership in the long run. Let me take a sip of water and then I'll tell you why. Because now is no longer the time for leaders who are, they're the leader and then you have this pack that follows the leader. It's not how it works. You need your team to be able to step up depending on what needs to be done, especially in a changing environment like that. You need to know who you can count on, what you can count on them for, who can take the lead for that project or for the other. There is no leader who knows everything right now. There is no leader who has all of the solutions. The solutions come when we create them together. And that is the power of team leadership. So you have to know, but it also starts with yourself as the leader, knowing what your strengths are and where you need help and who in your team you can ask for help, or where you can go and ask for help outside of your team, of your business, or of your organization. Because we are creating the new future of work right now. So the future is now, actually. We're back to the future in a way, but we're creating it every day. Right now, we're creating the future of work. But we cannot keep doing the things that we've always done the way we've always done them, because in that case, we cannot expect different results. And the problem is that we need different results because we have a different kind of environment that we operate in. So what do we do about it? Well, I will share this study that was done by WeWork on work from home impact. And here are some stats. 90% of the people that they interviewed said that they want to return to the office at least one day per week. Now, 20% of that group said they wanted to return 5 days a week. So again, it's the same group of people. majority of them, almost all of them say they want to get back at least 1 day per week. There are 20% who say 5 days a week. You can also look at the 10% of people who either didn't answer or they don't care. They can work from home very nicely. They don't have to get back to the office. So that already tells you a lot about the diversity in our working styles. You need to think, especially if you're leading people, if you're managing people, you need to be aware of different working styles and needs and expectations that people have. You need to be aware of your style and your impact. You need to be aware of their style and impact so that you can make it work and see how those differences can work for you as a team and for you as individuals. Now, that same study said that next, long-term business success relies on creativity and innovation that come from productive collaboration. That is where we go back to the beginning of this webinar where we said people management and collaboration, teamwork and collaboration. That's why it's going to be super important, because with that, you talk about bringing creativity and innovation in your organization, in your business, in your team. That's where it starts, with collaboration. I've worked with people who are managing, they were team managers. And somebody said to me a while back, no, we don't have to share this kind of challenges in my team, because my team they're not comfortable sharing this kind of stuff. And I told him, well, let me break the news to you in this case. You don't actually have a team. What you have right now is a group of people who work together because they have to work together. But they're not a team, because if they do not trust that they can share these challenges so that they can actually help each other reach a solution to deal with these challenges, if they don't have this kind of trust, they're not a team. And this kind of trust is only built through collaboration. Okay, companies need to rethink in-person interactions to prioritize health and to allow for culture building. Now, this is important because when we talk about health, we talk about physical and mental health. So we talk about psychological costs. Again, we go back to, the costs of bad hires and of good people leaving your team. We're not talking only about financial costs. We're talking about psychological costs as well, not to mention time, but time and money, they kind of go together. But the psychological costs on the team, that's going to be huge. And by the way, when we talk about culture building, you're building the culture. Culture is built by people. And you, as the people who manage people, you're building the culture as we go. Because culture very much depends. Culture, defined, a simple definition of culture is how we do things around here that makes us successful. How we do things around here that makes us successful. That's a very simple definition of culture. So how you do things in your team, in your organization, that is your culture. And you're building it with the people that you bring on. And it might be broken, or at least pieces of that culture are broken as some of the people also leave your organization. That's another discussion, but you need to be aware of that. So here are some ideas for productive collaboration, especially right now, especially in a crisis, especially for if you have teams that work from home virtually, that are transitioning from working from home over to, okay, now we're going back to the office. maybe a week, maybe a day or 2 days or 3 days a week. And we go alternate days. So we might not meet all together in one place again at the same time. That is yet another change that you and your team need to go through. So here are some ideas. And we start with team communication. And I love this because I really, really, really believe in this. In teamwork, silence isn't golden, it's deadly. You don't communicate. Again, you don't have a team. You just have a group of people who have to work together and who would take the chance of leaving anytime if they had anywhere else to go. And by the way, people who don't laugh together cannot build trust that easily. This is why I love this other quote that says, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. When people think about yourself now, when you had fun with your team at any point in time, how cool that was, and how great that felt, and how many ideas you came up with, and how great that felt too, and how productive you were just because you were laughing about the same thing and you were having fun together. When we have fun together, we're vulnerable with each other. And that's great because we open up. Here's a side of me that you didn't know about, and now you do. And I trusted you to open up this way, and you trusted me to open up this way. So that's, again, that's something that I can talk about for days. This is why we need formal and informal communication. Now for formal, we kind of know what it is all about: virtual meetings, emails, phone calls, shared workspace, right? We all know about that because we need them. And by the way, we had to come up with creative ways of working together so that we can still work. That was great that we had the internet that allows us to do that. By the way, try to revive phone calls or conference calls. Not all of your meetings, especially team meetings, have to be video meetings, because you have to prioritize between having everybody ready for video and having them ready to contribute for the discussion or for the meeting, to contribute, really contribute. So that's why phone calls or conference calls are good, because you might have people, I'll give you an example. You might have somebody on your team who is taking their kid to school in the morning. You have a team meeting at 8:30 and they're on the way back from just dropping their kid to school. They're on the way back home. Now, they might not have access to full internet connection and video. And even if they do, that might not be the best connection. But they do have access to have a phone call and do it hands-free, because you don't want them on video as they're driving either, right? So think about that. Would you rather have them struggling to show up on video and not really being able to contribute because the connection is bad, or have them on the phone and they're able to focus and concentrate as they are getting back home? Or maybe they can join you from their morning walk, and guess what? They will be more focused and more productive and more creative. They might come up with the best idea yet because they're taking that phone call from a park or from near the lake or wherever they do their morning walk. It's incredible what people come up with when they are in environments that allow them to be creative. Okay. Informal. The world is your oyster. You can do everything virtual, from lunches, coffees, parties, group chats, phone calls that are about anything else but work. in 5 minutes during the day, let's talk about this, as if we were just sharing the workspace, as if we were sharing the office. You can do virtual working sessions. So you meet on Zoom. You're working on a project, you meet on Zoom, you schedule it for 1 or 2 hours, and you have your team there with you. You all work on what it is you need to work on. So you don't have to look at each other like be stuck somewhere. You can move, you can get your water, your coffee, whatever it is, and you start working. And you work on your own thing. And at some point, the great thing about that is that at some point somebody can ask, where is that document? Where did we save it in the shared workspace? Where is that document that we need to send out to the client today? Because I forgot. And what that means is I'm going to ask you the question directly. I don't have to email you. I don't have to type it. I don't have to waste any more time. I just ask it. And you're going to give me the answer straight away. And I don't feel isolated anymore. So you want to deal with isolation, that's what you do. That's where you start. Start virtual working sessions with your people. What this also does is I can say something like, I'm going to grab myself a coffee. Who wants one? And even if I cannot bring one to you, what that means is you can get up and get your own coffee. And that way we have coffee together. And again, we feel connected. And it brings collaboration. And I'm not, because collaboration means like I feel free to ask without thinking twice. If I have to think twice about the way I am emailing you, the way I am writing my email over to you, that means there's a wall. There's still a wall in there. If I'm not comfortable in sharing and asking for help when I need the help easily on the team, because I fear they will judge me, because I fear they will say, oh, you should have known that, and that's not good. That doesn't look quite right for a team that wants to be there together for a long term. Okay, now let's look, and I think we're over time, but we have maybe 10 more minutes and then we're off. So let's look at team resourcing. I love this, I love this, I love this. The simple act of paying positive attention to people has a great deal to do with productivity. Again, knowing how they work, what their working styles are, that is huge. And I have some questions that you can use. And they are, what are these teams' strengths? What needs to be in place for this team to work most effectively? What will be valued? What is the team likely to pay least attention to? What tensions are likely to arise? What are the gaps or weaknesses in the team? What does this team need from its leader? These are important questions for you. Again, as people who manage people, no matter the level you're at, these are important questions to you. And there are a ton of assessments that we use so that we see working styles, personality styles, what motivates people, how they find their purpose, how they take their role on the team, and so on. We also have a tool now that's called the GC Index. And that's where I said at the beginning, if you remember, that All Personal is the first training, coaching, and consulting business that is a partner to the GC Index in Canada. And GC stands for Game Changer. And what it does is it measures impact. So it profiles the ways in which you feel most engaged and energized when it comes to making an impact upon your world. And there are 5 key proclivities or inclinations: the game changer, the strategist, the implementer, the polisher, and the playmaker. Now, but the combinations, there's 100,000 combinations of this, because they also have levels. And what the assessment does is it measures them, and it gives you an idea of where your energy naturally goes and how you make the best impact in your work, in your team, in your organization, or in your business. So what I want to show you, so I work with this extensively because it helps, especially teams, get that alignment and get a language that they can all use, and then they understand what motivates them and what keeps them engaged and how they can work great together for business goals. So we align this with business goals, because knowing the types of personality, that helps. But how do you align personality with business goals? This impact you can align to business goals. And here's the case study with Nike and the GC index. So Nike, as an organization, they say it is our nature to innovate. Why this is important when you talk about engagement and motivation for people who are game changers or strategists. So people who are idea oriented, idea focused, and think original ideas. They think something that nobody else thinks. They transform the future. They don't need the tried and tested. They go for the most original ideas ever. Or the strategists who see the future and envisions possibilities. Now you have people like that on your team in Nike, and they feel included. They feel engaged and motivated because they resonate with your maxim, with it is our nature to innovate. But what do you do with the rest of them? What do you do with implementers who are there to get things done, who are there to do things? Or the polishers. The polishers are the ones who improve services, who they're the ones who might take a Ford and transform it into a Rolls Royce. What do you do with people who orchestrate the future and who need to see, to engage everybody and to help everybody and to spot talents in everybody? What do you do with them? How do you help them be engaged and motivated? Because they might not feel they are the most innovative people, but they still work in an innovative organization. So what the GC index did for them is it aligned them and it helped them see, oh, actually, as an implementer, I help you guys who come up with ideas and plans and strategies. I help you build that. I help you build something that nobody else builds based on your idea that nobody else thought and based on your plan that nobody else put together. And me as a polisher, I help you create that future to be proud of. And me as the playmaker, I accelerate those possibilities through relationships and I help you work great together. So you as the person who leads these people, first of all, you need to know where you stand and where you are with that so that you know what your impact is, and then get to understand more of why some things are important for your people, for your team, and not that important for you. And that doesn't mean that they're not important for the business or for the organization. They're just not important for you because you have different priorities, because you think and work differently, and because your impact on the business is different impact than theirs. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a voice. That doesn't mean that their ideas and their way of thinking doesn't matter. It just needs that we need to be aware of that so that we can work with each other. So know your team and yourself, and also ask for help. So you will have game changers who come up with ideas that are original, and that it might bring you a competitive edge. Think about how Gmail was invented. It was somebody think about Gmail on their time out and it became a huge success. So allow them for that time for creative projects that aren't necessarily directly connected with what you do, but those might help you have a competitive edge with the next change that is coming up on the market. Think Richard Branson style. Strategists, make a plan, make a strategy. Ask them, what are the priorities? It's the strategists that will help you prioritize. They will ask questions like, do we have the right resources? Is this the right time? And so on. So they're super helpful when you're talking about building your future now. Think Elon Musk style. Implementers, they get the job done, right? We said that. And they make sure that everyone is clear on what they need to do, why, and by when. Think Martin Luther King style. They can engage people and they get things rolling. They make things happen. Polishers, again, they're the ones who will take a Ford and transform it into a Rolls Royce. Not that the Ford isn't good, but they take products and services to the next level. They turn them into something brilliant, absolutely perfect. Think Steve Jobs style. Or playmakers. Now, these are the people that you can ask for help when you're trying to engage your team and like contribute ideas and organize events or help people get engaged and get together and contribute. Think about sports coaches and what they can do for the team, right? Think Gandhi style and how they nurture everybody and how they help everybody grow. Now, to motivate your dream team, again, to recap, know what your team role in business impact is so that you can then understand more of how your team works. Understand the triggers of motivation and engagement, because that is what will reduce burnout, demotivation, frustration. That's what will help you not lose those great team members and face those financial and psychological costs. And then you understand, knowing about working styles, personality styles, impact, and all of that, that will help you work together better towards your business goals. Because that's how I know we're productive. We don't waste time. I know what's important to you. I know you know what's important to me. You know how you can work with me and be productive and don't waste time. And also ask for help or advice where you know that that style is not your preference or it's not your strong point. Absolutely ask for help. That's the power of the team, because they can jump in and help. And focus on purpose. If you let them know the why, that will also increase collaboration and it will maximize individual and team potential. So always communicate the purpose. What is it that we're trying to do? And this is how we're going to do it. And what do you think? Now, what about your motivation and engagement? Well, as I said, you need to get support and ask for help, because leaders who ask for help, they are able to help others in turn. Asking for help is vulnerable, but it will open up a plethora of opportunities and ideas and connections and possibilities. So ask for help. When we give help, we're in a power position. When we ask for help, that's vulnerable, but everybody likes to help people. Or typically, when you ask somebody for help, they will want to help you. So think about when you're asked for help. Do you like to help people? Well, they might like to help you. And then as a leader, again, it's your responsibility to take care of yourself. And here's where we go with that. When you need to find your tribe, and you need to also get out of your shell and see where you can get support outside your environment, because that is what will enrich you to get ideas, to get new perspectives, to get new to understand and learn new ways of doing things, so that you can bring them in your organization or team or business and work with that. We don't work isolated. We don't work in a cave. We work with one another. And at this moment in time when everything is global, we need to have the power of network and support in place, the power of community. That's what the All in This Together stands for. So now's the time to answer my question and get your surprise. And for those of you who stayed until the end, this is the surprise that I was talking about. Who's taking care of you and how? Who's taking care of you as people who are managing people and who are taking care of other people? The Lead for Legacy League. These are the words that I have for you, and I'm so excited about this. So this is a league that's here for you as a global community of continuous learning and support. And it will have brainstorming and networking with peers. So again, people like you, it's important to have the connection with people like you, to have access to learning, to learn how you can manage people better, how you can manage yourself better, and have that support system in place. So you get brainstorming and networking with peers from all over the world, assessments and strategies for you and your team. You'll get access and discounts to 250 plus award-winning online courses in leadership, sales, and customer service. We do regular group coaching, Q&A, discussions, just asking and getting help from peers, from me as your coach, from other people who we're inviting as guest speakers from various industries, speaking opportunities for you, for those of you who want to speak. There you go. That's your opportunity. So I invite you to join the league because we start on the 16th of November, and this is a one-time super special and limited offer by then, because after that, it's gonna change significantly. So what this includes is you have two options. And the first option is you're taking all of the modules that we were talking about when we talked about the skills that we need to train, and how actually there are more skills than just 5 skills. And under all of these course modules, you have a lot of information that we address. So you have access to the full training package. And by the way, the time management one is for free. So you're going to get 8 for the price of 7. And you have a 1-year access to them. So you don't have to do them today. You just do them at your pace. And then we discuss, you ask the questions and we discuss in the group, and you're getting all of the support that you need to be able to embed the learning in your work. You're getting also the Game Changing Index individual assessment and strategy session with me, where you understand, okay, how is it that I'm making an impact in my business, in my team, in my organization, so that I know what to focus on and relate that, connect that to the business. And special discounts to the 250 plus online courses and modules and assessments that I have. You also get the power of the community. So it's weekly meetings of self-care events or coaching, brainstorming, networking. You have access to all of the league library materials. There's going to be prizes, and until the 16th of October of November, 16th of November, you have special discounted monthly group memberships. So again, after that date, things are going to change. Now, the second option is where you don't need the full training package and you're just getting emotional intelligence and time management. Again, time management is for free, and another course of your choice. And the rest is going to be the same as option 1. You're just, or you can decide, okay, what kind of courses do I need? We can be flexible on that. You don't need all of them, or you want to purchase them in time, that's absolutely fine. Just talk to me and we'll make it happen. It's like we make happen what you need to make happen. So these are the two options that we start with. Again, register by the 15th of November because we start actually on the 16th, but register until the 15th so that you get the discounts. Now, I would address any questions and comments from anyone that wants to ask anything. I'm just gonna run through some of the feedback that I've had from people as I'm checking some of the questions. Now, one of the questions might be, okay, how do I join this program? Now it's easy. You can either message me, you can either comment. I will also put a link of how you can connect with me in the description of this video so that you can reach out and either sign up directly or ask for more information if you want to know about costs. So I will put this link in the description, book a meeting and choose the best option for you and your team. You can also email me. My email is all@personalskillscoach.com. I do have payment options available. Again, flexibility, adaptability, that's huge. And I am a huge fan of that. So I'd rather be able to help you with your own needs and at your own pace than not help you at all. So this is for registration by the 15th of November, so we can start on the 16th, so I can know what access I need to give you and to what. And the super surprise is that if you bring a friend, you get a 50, and I said 50, not 15, 50% discount for your monthly membership for life. And this is valid only for this start on November 16th, because after that, I won't be offering this kind of discount anymore. So bring a friend and you get the 50% discount to your monthly membership. And they also get a great offer to join this program and ditch isolation, connect with people, learn on an ongoing basis, have the courses that they need in one place, accessible to them, have the discussion groups and inspiration and all of the amazing things that we will do together so that you can then take that beautiful stuff that you're learning and experiencing and take it to your team, to your organization, and build your dream work, your dream team, your dream life with everything that you're getting from the league. So that being said, build your dream, eyes wide open, in great company. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for your questions. Reach out to me. Check the links in the descriptions and see you around. Thank you very much.